In a quiet town nestled between rolling hills lived a man named Elias. He wasn't a hero or a king. He was a simple soul carrying a weight too heavy for words. His days were gray, each one a repeat of the last, his heart aching with a silent sorrow he couldn't name. The world around him seemed vibrant, full of color and laughter, but for Elias everything was muted, as if he were watching life through a dusty window. He tried to explain his feelings, but the words would get stuck in his throat, forming a lump of unspoken grief. One evening, as rain tapped a gentle rhythm on his window pane, Elias picked up an old, forgotten pen. He didn't know why, but his hand began to move across a blank page. He didn't write sentences. He wrote feelings. Words flowed like tears he couldn't cry. He wrote about the hollowness in his chest, the shadows that danced in the corners of his mind, and the faint glimmer of a hope he barely dared to acknowledge. These weren't just words. They were pieces of his soul, raw and honest. He had turned his pain into poems. Night after night, this became his ritual. Each poem was a small victory, a release of pressure from a heart about to burst. He discovered something magical in this process. By giving his pain a shape, a name, a rhythm, it began to lose its power over him. The act of creation was an act of healing. His poems weren't meant for anyone else. They were his private conversation with his own suffering. But as he filled notebook after notebook, the gray in his world started to fade. He began to notice the morning sun again, the taste of his coffee, the sound of birds singing outside. Elias learned that our deepest wounds don't always need to be fixed or forgotten. Sometimes they just need to be expressed. They need a voice. Whether it's through writing, painting, music, or just talking to someone you trust, turning your inner turmoil into something tangible can be the first step toward healing. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we have the power to create light. Elias didn't erase his pain. He transformed it. He turned his scars into art, and in doing so, he found his way back to himself. Thank you for watching.